我是 China，我是 China，我是 China。
I am China. This might be 2026's most iconic China moment.
多几分要点我的心就是冷冽的，因为我是 China 的人。有人在拍片，别笑，好男人，我不非让你们一知道。
And this was from a YouTube channel called Sunny Lam. It's pretty funny. I'll link the link to the full video in the description. How to become an international embarrassment, and to the point where your assumed representation of mainland China has drawn so much laughter for the rest of the world, but so much embarrassment for all of those mainland nationalistic defenders that they can't even come to help you. This was the man standing in the shot, and he made a video afterwards saying how embarrassed he felt that his fellow people acted this way on the plane.
我也是那架飞机上的倒霉乘客之一。我现在本来应该已经在马尔代夫的海滩上，但是因为这件事情，我喜提了吉隆坡一日游，特别的挣扎。第一个就是羞愧，看到同胞因为自己人迟到了，反而大闹机舱，甚至强行要求外籍空乘必须说中文的时候，我的反应就是想找个地缝钻进去。
It seems that he never made it to the Maldives at all, but back in Chongqing after spending a day in Kuala Lumpur. And this entitled woman asking staff to speak Chinese is going viral in Malaysia, as I've been told, and also the rest of the world. There's a saying that not every Chinese person behaves badly, but every time there is an incident, a mainland Chinese person is involved. I think it's interesting because instead of admitting to her problems and mistakes, she repeatedly made videos trying to go viral, capitalizing on this incident. And she's made new ones as we speak about her side of the story. On April 23rd, this woman started to post videos as sort of a response to the public opinion around her. In one particular one, she says she can't possibly apologize. It's not her responsibility alone, says that it's a big deal. The matter is already over, but just everybody should stop discussing it. And then she also tried to live stream this, during this, which an internet user questioned her, saying that you've embarrassed yourself all the way abroad and now everyone's watching you as a joke. She responded saying that she's Chinese, so it's normal that she doesn't speak English, but the flight attendant who came to her actually does speak Chinese, but just refused to and spoke English instead, so that's a discrimination against Chinese people, and all of those, right? So just normally, you would have a lot of Chinese internet users who are patriotic defending her, but this one is just so bad that even when she tried to do these patriotic attempts saying that, I'm from China, it doesn't work. She just doesn't have any grounds, It's just kind of one of those situations where it's like you're forcing it, but it still doesn't work. But she's also not the first one who does this stuff, because it's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like getting the view count, maybe getting traffic on internet clicks, whatnot, but they love posting this type of content, right?
Not Chinese.
No Chinese.
No Chinese.
是吧 ？Chinese，我教你。火鸡，看。
哦，哪一张？
来，对，就那玩意儿。OK。
太君，我他喜欢这个肚子窝了的，我他喜欢这个的，哪里讲的？这个。好的。
下次哪个听的？
你要一个这个，这个是什么东西？要
不嘞？
这个。你的大力量，阿里嘎多。谢谢太君，阿里嘎多。
要一个汉堡。汉堡。爷，那个中间那个。那个。这个。不是，中间那个黑手。
你好，给我来一个冰美式。冰美式，美式咖啡。咖啡，冰。美式。
Americano。
一个冰美式，一个，再来一个蛋糕。
This time it really backfired because even though where I think she thought that this would go viral for would be the point that people would get offended that the Malaysian airline doesn't have any Chinese-speaking flight attendants, but people ended up focusing on how she basically turned something so small into something so big and made herself a laughingstock. Halfway through those series of videos she made, she started to kind of realize that the public opinion is really not on her side. But in her latest one, she says that she's going to use legal means against anybody who bullies her family. So You know, at this point, I think she's just trying to see if she can go viral and become famous on the internet. I just don't feel like she truly understands why people are mad at her. She thinks that it's a simple matter of displaying that the world should think or respect Chinese people a certain way now. But in reality, this is such a small thing that started with a manner problem, which, you know, if you're being told that you're talking too loud, the plane's about to take off, normal people would just be like, okay, sorry, like, I'll call you back later. But obviously, because her friends couldn't make it onto the plane, she thinks that her friends deserve to be there, so the flight should have waited for them. And that's how it turned into this full-blown clown watch party at 2 a.m. All because I think Chinese people are being told that they deserve special treatments now because China's strong and China in Asia is like dominating, right? This is not the fault of the people. This is the people who the government and its propaganda machine is telling them this way. Not directly, obviously, but it's like they're hinting that this is how you can behave now because you got a strong country behind you. Mainland Chinese people have this rigidness, and you can kind of sense this when you're around them, which I would kind of consider would be like you're next to a fully drawn bow, right? It's ready to let go and fire at any given time. They're very tight. Compare Chinese people from the mainland to people like from Hong Kong, Taiwan, Malaysia, American Chinese. You know, you start to see this, right? Mainland Chinese people, they make people around them feel different too because they're like agitated, overreacting to the smaller things, often very small material things, or even just simple things like lining up for certain events or going into a shop, cutting the lines, those kind of things. This is all because the decades of brainwashing and the communist thinking. This is the CCP culture. They act so differently because that's all they know. They're told that the ways of thugs is the way that the CCP leadership struggled for power back in the days. Therefore, it's instilled in the people through the decades of political movements to do the same for their rights. Ironically speaking, there's really not a lot of rights because the CCP took over. Chinese people effectively lost all their rights, but it's like the right to survive. You know, that's what they're fighting for. Here's an incident in Incheon Airport in South Korea. Chinese shoppers boarded a China Airlines flight, but they were denied boarding because they brought too many carry-on luggages. Each person, obviously, as we know, standard is one carry-on, one personal item. And then they started throwing things around at the gate and cursing that Korea is being unethical. Like, what the hell does this whole thing have to do with South Korea? It doesn't. This is China Airlines. This is literally their policy. Why are they blaming other people? They never look within themselves, right? This is, again, I keep drilling this out because I think it's important to understand. It's that what we think is normal to them is abnormal. What they think is normal, when they go outside to the real world, outside of China, they realize that, oh yeah, well, what we're doing is not normal. And speaking of Korea, I have this great product from South Korea. This is the bioactive Red Sea cucumber gel from Jeju Island, South Korea. Now this one's great because Red Sea cucumbers are even more nutritious than the regular sea cucumbers. It's especially valued because of its habitat, which is cold, clean, volcanic water. And it's traditionally considered a medicinal food, often called the sea ginseng. And these are hand harvested by Korean female divers known as haengyos. And the extracted gel from the Red Sea cucumbers are rich in collagen and saponin, which is great for managing chronic pain as well as boosting your metabolic activities. It's also great at reducing post-workout recovery time, at least that's what I found out to be, and boosting your energy. And what I think is very interesting is because now there's even studies on the early potential for it being anti-cancer and being neuroprotective. So if you're really looking for a great gift for your loved ones, or you're in the market for natural supplements that are proven to be effective, check this out. Please do your own research too on sea cucumbers because they're wonderful. They've been known in Asia for a very long time as a natural superfood to have. Now, I personally have been consistently taking these for the last year. It's a natural product that does wonders for all age groups. I personally feel that the most important factor is maintaining a smooth level of energy throughout the day so I don't crash and burn, and this really does help with that as well. Also, when I'm at the gym, the post-recovery is wonderful. So check out the link in the description and get yours today. Okay, let's talk deeper. You know what's really funny? The fact that that female passenger thinks she is the queen on the plane, it's a display, I think, of how little she knows how the CCP works domestically. Now, I don't believe that she's of some high-up official's child or, mistress of someone. I don't think she is that. But under the CCP's rules, there's a clear hierarchy of people and their class. She doesn't belong to the elites. She is the core audience that the CCP views as equally disposable as the next person. This video has been going viral in China. This is Richard Yu, the chairman of Huawei's business group and Intelligence Automotive Solution, basically the guy who oversaw the Huawei phones and now moving on to the EVs. He was filmed drinking water while sitting down and resting. And the part that caught Chinese internet users' eyes is the assistant kneeling down halfway to give him the water bottle and then kneeling back again to get it. as if rather than an assistant, this is some sort of a servant behavior, you know? And this scene was very shocking because it displayed the concept I was just talking about, the hierarchy that the CCP told Chinese people didn't exist, because, you know, everybody's supposed to be peasants, right? This is effectively being shown in real time. So people photoshopped him as the emperor being served. Others started doing reenactment of this, and people gave him nicknames like Harmony OS Emperor. Harmony OS is the Huawei phone operating system, or the Xuanwu Architecture Emperor. That's like the architecture of the phone. The moral of the story is, no matter how strong you think you are with I'm China, or I speak Chinese, or speak Chinese to me, back home the CCP puts you into a hierarchy where you're not only going to believe their lies, but you're also going to serve those who are really in charge at the top of the food chain. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and please subscribe to our channel, as we have these kind of deep dive analysis and commentary videos on China every single week, and pretty frequently too. And we're probably one of the fastest channel delivering news from China on YouTube. So definitely subscribe to David on China and China Insider, and get your latest on China. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.